Hey guys, so let's talk about living in your purpose. Yeah, um, it's been something that's kind of been on my brain. It's been on my head for like the last week or so, and I do apologize. It has been about a week since we've talked, so let's get into it. mm. So living in your purpose, and you ask yourself, what does living in my purpose look like? So I have a question for you. Are you happy? Are you fulfilled? Are you following your passion to the highest extent? If you are not, then you are not living in your purpose. Um, and I know a lot of you are gonna be like, "Oh, well, I don't understand. Well, I can't live in my purpose, or I can't follow my passion because I have X, Y, and Z that I have to do." And honestly, I'm really here to tell you that that is a program of the Matrix. The Matrix has programmed us to believe that if we follow our dreams, if we do what makes us genuinely happy, and I don't mean what society deems as being happy, but I mean what genuinely makes you happy, then you cannot succeed. And that is all a part of the illusion. It's all a part of the matrix. It's all a part to keep you in a space where you're just running on a hamster wheel and you're never actually finding fulfillment in your life. um when we are living in our purpose, when we are following our passion, the universe is going to create what we need to survive. Um, just take, for instance, we'll take YouTube, right? YouTube, uh, I don't know. I don't know how many years ago YouTube was just, a little thing. People would post videos or whatever on YouTube and it was like no big deal. Now you see people playing video games, pranking their family, um, decorating cakes, crocheting, making stuff, and like putting it on YouTube or TikTok or whatever social media platform, and they're gaining recognition. And with that recognition comes finances, money, and they're able to sustain their livelihood. They're able to take care of their family and all of these things. And I'm not saying that is for everybody. But I am saying that those people took their passion, they believed in themselves, and they just went with it, and the universe provided for them. Even if go off of YouTube, there are plenty of people who have started businesses because they just followed their passion. They did what they loved. Um, it was this young lady that I ran across who her parents wanted her to go to school to be a doctor. She went to school and she got her degree and she became a doctor and she hated it. She absolutely hated being a doctor. She was miserable. What she wanted to do was she wanted to bake. She wanted to make cakes and cookies and pastries. And her family was like, you can never have a career with that. It's not acceptable. It's not X, Y, and Z. And one day she woke up and she was just like, I'm miserable. I hate this. And I want to do what makes me happy. Fast forward, she has multiple successful bakeries around the world. She has competed in plenty of like baking contests and won, and blah blah blah. Needless to say, the moment she decided to stop living her life for other people and what other people considered as success, and she began to live in her passion and do what made her happy, not necessarily saying that it happened overnight, but the universe found a way to sustain her, because at the end of the day, it's all energy. We're all energy. I'm energy, you're energy. We're all energy, and we're a part of a bigger energy, which is source, God, whomever you call it. And once your energy is in alignment, then the universe begins to work for you and not against you. But as long as you're continuing to fight against the alignment of the universe, you're always going to feel tired. You're always going to feel miserable and sad. And that's the big one. If I do X, Y, and Z, then my life will be better. Oh, if I could just go back to school and get that degree, I'll make more money and my situation won't be as bad as it's been. And then you go to school and you hate school. And I can speak on this because this is something that I personally did. I just kept trying to go back to nursing school. Like, I dropped out of nursing school like 3 times because I was like, oh, well, I want to be a nurse. Like, I knew from the time I was small that I wanted to help people. And in my limited mindset and what I had been taught and what I had heard, I just figured, oh, doctor, lawyer, nurse, something of that nature. And so I kept trying to go back to nursing school, and something would keep coming up and I would drop out again. And something would come up and I would drop out again, and something would come up. And it was like this constant thing, but I kept telling myself, well, if I could just get through it. I hate doing this. It doesn't bring me joy. I'm really miserable in it. And not necessarily saying the helping portion, because even though I was in nursing school, or I went to nursing school several times, I was still working in healthcare. And I do enjoy working in healthcare. I do enjoy helping people. But that particular path was not for me. But I kept pursuing that path because I felt like, well, maybe if I go ahead and get this degree, and then I can get this job at a hospital, and I have a bigger paycheck, and then I can do this, and I can take my kids on vacation, I can do X, Y, and Z. And I wasn't doing it because it was something that was passionate, that I was passionate about. It was just more so of doing it because I got bills to pay and I got kids, and I want to give my kids all the things that I've never had, which is what everybody says when they have kids. I want to give my kids what I didn't have when I was younger. And in turns, we tend to teach our kids the same things that we were taught. We teach them not to follow your dreams because they're, too far-fetched or crazy. Like if your kid says, oh, I want to be the president of the United States, or I want to be, with my kids, what did they say? One said he wanted to be a chemical engineer, and the other a scientist. And I'm like, okay, if that's what you want to do, we'll do it. And they're going to change their mind. They're children. But at the end of the day, you support them in what their dreams are because you want them to succeed. You don't force your dreams on them or your limited perspective of things on them, because then you in turn kill their dreams. There were plenty of things that I wanted to do as a child that I was really passionate about, but I did not necessarily have the backing from my parental units. Those dreams were crazy. Like, oh, you can't do this because of that, or it's not black people doing that, things like that. And then when you do that, you limit the imagination and the possibilities of yourself and your children. So me being a parent now, whatever my kids want to do, we're going to do it, because you have these ideas of things that you want to do, right? And who says that you're going to do all of them? They might just be something you need to experience to determine whether or not you want to do it. Like, and my kid wanted to play football. Oh, I want to play football. I'm going to go to the NFL. About a game in, he quickly realized that was not something that he wanted to do. And now he realized he likes science and he likes technology and building things with his hands. And because he enjoys those things and it's his passion and he loves to do it, me and his father, we pour everything into him. Okay, you want a 3D printer? Let's buy you a 3D printer. Oh, you want to do robotics club? Let's do robotics club. Whatever it is that your passion is, I'm going to feed into it, because at the end of the day, if you are doing something that you love, something that's genuine from the heart and not just so you can get a paycheck, then those things will eventually pay off for you. You will resonate in the energy that the universe is in, and those things will circle back around to you, and you can genuinely be happy doing something that you love. Most people don't think that you can have a successful life and live comfortably doing what you love, because that's not how the system is made. But that is exactly how the system is made. Maybe not the Matrix. The Matrix is not made for you to do things that you love and succeed at it. But when you step out of the Matrix, and when I say Matrix, I mean this illusion that we are in, because at the core, like I said, we are energy. And energy is never destroyed. It's only transferred. You attract like energies. So, if you, let me find a good example to give you guys in regards to energy. Let's go back like to negativity and positivity, right? If you're always negative about something, worst case scenario, if something is happening in your life and you cannot see the brighter side of the picture, and it's just straight worst case scenario, oh, things are going to go bad, oh, I'm going to lose my job, oh, this person's going to leave me, oh, it's going to be cancer. Because that's what people tend to do. Like, you go to the doctor and they say, oh, something strange popped up on your MRI and we're going to have to look into it. And the first thing you do is go to Google, and then it's like, oh my God, cancer. Oh my God, I'm going to die. And then you panic. You are setting forth an energy into the universe to create, because at every single moment and every single day, we are creators. At our core, that's what we are. We are creators. We are constantly manifesting based off of how we feel and what we believe and our actions. So if you are automatically jumping to worst case scenario in everything, worst case scenario, it's what's going to present itself to you, because that's what you are attracting. It's the same thing with relationships. How many of you been in relationships after relationship, and it's like, I keep attracting the same type of person, and I don't know why I'm attracting this type of person. That's not even what I want. Or they don't start off being that way, but somewhere down the line they become this. What energy are you in? What signal are you putting out to the universe to attract these people? Because like we spoke about in the previous video, everything's a mirror. Everything's a mirror. And we feel so separate from everyone, but we're actually all connected. So what you're putting out is what you're going to get back. So if you're constantly putting out someone, or you're constantly attracting someone who gaslights you, someone who's not completely honest, someone who talks down on you, or doesn't make you feel as special as you are, you need to turn around and look inwardly. How are you treating yourself? How do you feel about yourself? And it all comes back to being honest. And we hate being honest with ourselves. We absolutely hate being honest. You will say, oh no, I love myself, and oh, I respect myself, and I don't understand why I get this, and I'm not a cheater, and da-da-da-da-da. But then if you really look at it, how many times you tell yourself you're stupid? I know I was real bad at that. Like, oh, damn, that was so stupid. Oh, girl, you stupid. I'm like, no, actually, I'm not stupid. I'm far from stupid. How many times you look at yourself in the mirror and pinpoint everything that you want to change about yourself? How many times do your intuition tell you something and you ignore it? And you're like, oh, it's just me thinking, da-da-da-da. It's not that. And you do this to yourself every single day. And then all of a sudden you attract someone who doesn't tell you you're pretty, doesn't doesn't respect you or respect your opinions or your thoughts, who doesn't treat you the way you want to be treated, but it's because you also don't treat yourself the way you want to be treated. I can guarantee you, the moment you decide or the moment you start treating yourself the way you want others to treat you, it's going to set precedence. Because now that you're treating yourself in the way and you're loving yourself in the way that you want to be loved, you're not just going to let anybody come in. Just because they drive a nice car and got a nice job and they took you on a couple of nice dates and they pay for everything when you go out. Those things are it's a facade. Because once you truly start treating yourself and loving yourself, treating yourself well and loving yourself, you'll be able to see through the facade of things. Because a lot of people do come in your life and they love bomb you, or they present themselves in a certain way. But when you are in tune with yourself, with the universe, your intuition, and you are actually listening to it, you can see when those people are there for, who are genuinely there for you, who are genuine in their pursuits or in their actions, and then you can see those who are not, right? And then once you start aligning with yourself, that's why you hear a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm going on a self-care journey, a healing journey," because we've been conditioned to believe all of these things about ourselves that's not necessarily true, and you tend to believe those things after hearing them for so long. So you literally have to deprogram yourself from the matrix, learn to love yourself, in spite of what outside influences say, because you know who you are. And once you start loving yourself, once you start healing from all of the programs that have been placed upon you, and you start doing those things that you love and finding out a lot of the things that you do, you absolutely hate. Like, one of my biggest things was with music. I used to listen to the same music that my friends would listen to because, oh, well, I don't want them to think that I'm weird because I don't really like this music. There's a lot of music I listened to that I really did not enjoy. Like, it would be okay for a couple of minutes, and like after 10, 15 minutes, I'm like, okay, I don't want to listen to this anymore. But I would not say anything because it was like, well, I don't want to push any buttons, or I want to fit in with them. Now, I don't care. I really don't. I'm going to listen to what I want to listen to. I like Willow Smith, and it's okay. And I listen to Ariel J. and Genevieve Harrison and, Duran Bernard. Like, I tend to listen to music that is intentional. Music that is not just putting a bunch of nonsense in my head, or it just has a good beat. Like, a lot of commercial artists operate off agenda. And if you listen to a lot of the things that they say, they're not things that necessarily align with you or your path. And I'm all about alignment. I'm all about intention. And so therefore, a lot of things I don't necessarily like listening to. Like, I've never been a rap head. I've never really liked rap music. Outside of Eminem and Tupac, I never really liked rap music. Now I don't listen to rap music at all. But we tend to do a lot of things off of peer pressure. And it's not necessarily saying that your friends or your family is pressuring you to listen to these things, but we all want to feel like we belong. We want to feel like we fit in. And so we tend to do things that we don't necessarily like just so we can feel like we belong to a group. And when we do that, we lose sight of our passion. Yeah, I thought I forgot. We was talking about passion. Our passion and our purpose. And truly, when you set an intention for something and it's a pure intention and it's from your heart and it's conceived out of love, the universe has no choice but to respond to you. The universe is going to respond to you regardless, whether you're creating something out of love or you're creating something out of hate. It's going to respond. But we're so conditioned to oh, I'm gonna return energy for energy. I'm just giving them back what they gave me. That's really not how we need to live our lives, because what was the old saying? An eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Like, what good is it going to come from you to return hate for hate? Who do you feel good at the end of that? And some of you be like, yeah, I feel great. Do you? Do you really? Because what benefit did that bring to your life? Did it change it for the better for you to be mean or nasty to somebody? Yeah. Like, does it, who wins? You know? Who wins at the end of it? Do you really feel like, I have a friend, and she was in a relationship that went sour. And we was like, okay, what are we gonna do to get him back? Like, what we gonna do to get him back? Like, okay, he did X, Y, and Z. We gotta do something to get him back. And like, we was down hopeful. We was coming up with all these ideas on like revenge. And then like one day she was like, no, we're not gonna do that. Like, God is gonna take care of it. It's fine. Like, there's no point of me walking in that negative energy, because karma. You know, God's gonna tag them back for what they did. Like, I don't have to do anything, and it wouldn't feel right if I did something to them, even though they did something to me. And fast forward, all of this stuff start happening to this person. Like, a lot of stuff. Like, really, the energy that person put out, they came back and found them. And but not necessarily saying that's a good thing, but that's how it works. What you put out, you will get back. And when you put out love, when you put out kindness, when you put out truth, it has no choice but to follow you. So, let's say, back to purpose or passion. Let's say you love to paint. It brings you joy. After a hard day of work, after dealing with a bunch of stressful people, you go home, you pull out your easel and your paint, your acrylics, and you paint. And it brings you so much joy. Keep doing it. Keep painting. Keep doing your passion. Right now, it may not be bringing in an income, but I can guarantee you, as you walk in your passion and you believe that the universe will take care of you and will allow you to continue to live in your passion, and it would provide a way. It will. Trust me, it will. And I know it's hard for people to hear because of what we've been conditioned to believe. And I'm not telling you, oh, well, quit your 9 to 5 and go and backpack through Europe. Hey, if you have enough faith in the universe and you believe it, by all means, quit that 9 to 5 and go backpack through Europe. Do it. But if your belief, your knowing, because it's more about a knowing than it is a belief. Knowing that source is going to take care of you, knowing that the universe is going to work in your favor for you. If your knowing is not there, stay at that job. It's fine, but don't give up on your passion. Don't give up on your dream. Every day, work a little bit more towards your dream. Every day, do something that that you're passionate about, and through a series of circumstances, however long it may take for you to get rid of some of your limited beliefs, you will manifest the life that you prefer. You will slowly start to wake up from the matrix and understand that it's not about working until you die. And then there's nothing after that. Because newsflash, death is not the end. We are all energy. Energy is never destroyed, only transferred. This existence on this plane, I call our bodies avatars because they do not house our spirit. Our spirit is much bigger than the body, right? Which is why you hear people talk about auras, like, oh, I saw your aura and it was beautiful. That's your spirit. Your body is housed within your spirit. And once you are done with your body or your avatar and you move on, there's just another experience after that, a much grander experience. When you die is when you truly awaken, when you find out who you really are in the grand scheme of things, and the limits that you put on yourself in this experience won't even be a thing, because you are way bigger than what you've been taught to believe. Way bigger than what you've been taught to believe. It's literally like this life is literally a drop in the bucket in the cosmic realm of things. It's a drop in the bucket. And once you understand that, and that we are here to experience, we're here to create, we're here to actually enjoy this thing we call life, humanity, this experience, you won't allow fear to hold you. It won't hold you back anymore, because what's the worst that could happen? If death is not real, or what they've told us death is not real, what are you afraid of? What are you afraid of? If you truly have the power to create the reality that you want to live in, what are you afraid of? And people say that you're crazy. They call you crazy, and it's just because they don't understand. Once you understand on a quantum level that this is all an illusion, and that you have the power to create the reality that you choose, then your limited beliefs tend to dissolve. And I know some people don't understand, or they, we'll just say that they don't understand. But if you ever get any free time, there was I think it was in Japan. There was a group of doctors, I want to say Japan or China, and they all got together. It was a patient, I think they had a tumor or something, and they all agreed on a word. And they chanted that word, and basically the word that they agreed upon, it meant like healed, like already healed. And they chanted this word over this person for X amount of time, and they all knew that the person would be healed. The tumor shrunk, and the person was fine. There's been plenty of studies of people going into deep meditation who may have been paralyzed or had some type of fatal disease, or whatever be the case, financial issues, and they go into this deep meditation, and when they finally surrender and understand that the illusion that we're in is literally just that, it's an illusion, it's a figment of your imagination. What you believe is what you perceive. When they come out of these meditations, everything changes in an instant. They can walk. They're healed. Their tumors are shrunk. They don't have the same medical issues that they had prior to these meditations. People have created businesses out of thin air. Literally out of thin air, because they understood that this is a matrix. It's all a perception that that's in front of us. It's a perception. It's not real. Like I said, there was a time where I would get so irritated at work. Oh my gosh, so irritated at work. And then one day I decided, no, it's all about perception. Once I understood that I am you and you are me, that you are me from a different point of view, right? And that it's not a such thing as right or wrong. it's a such thing as perception. And I started looking at things like that. People stopped bothering me. I didn't feel bothered by people, by their reaction to me or their interaction with me. Circumstances didn't bother me anymore. Uh, People's approval was not a thing of me to me anymore, because I understood that everyone reacts based off of their own perception. And if we're all stuck in this disillusionment, this matrix, this thing, then we will have limited perspectives on a lot of things. And if you are not completely healed, hurt people hurt people. So instead of me being irritated at how people reacted at work, or how somebody cut me off in traffic or whatever, I'm like, it's fine. Like, it's okay. Like, it's not going to make or break me. It doesn't change my perspective on the reality that I'm in. Even with the whole presidential thing, oh my gosh, people is losing their mind over that. And I'm like, oh, not my president. And it's not in a disrespectful way. It's the fact that I create my own reality. I see what I choose to see. And because I see what I choose to see, a lot of the things that bother people do not necessarily bother me. I refuse to continue to feed into the narrative of separation in all aspects, whether it's racial separation, financial separation, separation of the sex, men versus women, any of those. I don't feed into it. Not necessarily saying that I don't see what's going on, but I'm not going to feed into it, because I understand that those things that are happening does not affect me, because I have the power to shift my own reality. I have the power to make the decisions that benefit me to the highest. And because I understand that, the things that make so many people angry, I have no say. Like, I'm neutral on it. Truly, I'm neutral. Like, whether it goes to the left or to the right, it's not going to affect me any way, shape, or form, because I create my own reality. And we need to get to that space where we're neutral about a lot of things, because as soon as you start feeding into one extreme or the other, you've forgotten that you are constantly creating, you're constantly manifesting. So if you're constantly worried about, and I can't even use it as an example because I really don't know what's going on, like, as far as like politics, because I don't pay attention to it. It doesn't affect me one way or another. So I can't really use an example because I don't know. I really wish I could, but I don't. I don't know what's happening. I'm gonna make up something, I guess. If you're constantly worried that the president is gonna, he's taking us back 400 years, we're gonna be all back in slavery, and we're not gonna be able to feed our families, and we're not gonna be able to do this, and we're not gonna do that. Well, now you've put that in the atmosphere. Now you've literally sent that energy to the universe, and then those things will become a constant reality for you, because everything is energy. Everything is an energetic exchange. Everything on a quantum level, everything is energy, and it's what energy you choose to live in. I choose to not live in lack. I choose to live in abundance. I choose to live in peace, love, happiness, joy. Like, these are the things that I choose to live in. And when you choose opposite of those things, your life reflects it. Yes. It was a time where I was always angry because I felt like I had no control. And I was definitely one of those people who's like, listen, if they're gonna destroy the world, just do it. Like, if the aliens is coming, just take me. I don't want to be here no more. Like, I'm tired of it. It's horrible. Like, nothing's gonna get better. I don't want to work until I'm 75, and then I can finally retire. And then what life am I gonna have then? And da 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 da. And woe is me. And oh, I need to hit the lottery. I need to do this. I need to do that. And I let all of that go. Like, I literally had to let all of that go. That way of thinking go. I had to let it go. I had to. And I had to say, this is the life that I'm in. Now, what quality of life do I want to have? What experience do I want to have on this earth? And it's we tend to take other people's experiences as Bible. If somebody tells you, oh my gosh, great one. I used to hear so many people, don't go to Africa. You can't go to Africa because of da-da-da-da, and they hate us. Or you can't travel outside the country because people don't like Americans, or it's poverty stricken in these particular places, or they don't like Americans, or you're going to get kidnapped if you go to Mexico and the cartel and da-da-da-da. All of these perceptions of things, most of the time they come from people who've never had their own experience. They're telling you something that someone else has told them, but they've never experienced it. And then we tricked ourselves to believe that experience is not necessary. We've told ourselves that if someone else has had this experience, they're just telling us to keep us from having to have the same experience. Who's to say your experience is going to be the same thing as their experience? If they were in a lower vibration, then they attracted a lot of lower vibration experiences. If you're operating in a higher vibration, trusting in source, trusting in the universe, trusting in yourself, firstly, your experience will be different. Drastically different. There's plenty of things I have done that others have told me not to do because they've had a bad experience. And my experience was wonderful. I didn't have any of those same experiences. Like, the people didn't treat me bad. We'll use something simple as in, we'll go back to work, because work seems to be like a constant thing that people deal with. So at work, there has been multiple times where there's been specific patients that will come in, and my coworkers be like, oh, I don't want to deal with them because they're so rude and they always, act this way, and they're just ignorant and this, that, and the third, and I don't want to curse them out today, and da 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 da. I'll get those same patients and they be just as lovely to me, because I don't go in, I hear what my coworkers are saying, but I'm neutral to it. Because that may be your experience with them, but I don't necessarily believe it's going to be my experience. I always say people love me. I don't care who it is. I don't care where I go. I always say people love me. And that's where I leave it. And that has tended to be my experience. People tend to love me. People tend to treat me with respect. And people tend to connect with me. And so there's been multiple incidences where my coworkers have horrible experiences with people, and those people tend to love me. They tend to bring me gifts. They tend to tell me their entire life story. And they're like, I don't understand. Why? Why does it work like that for you? Because I'm in a different energy. I'm not operating out of my lower. There was a short time in my life where I worked in a casino, and I will always pick the same section, and it was always the section none of the girls wanted. And I remember when I first got there, I was like, why don't nobody ever want this section? It was like, oh, they don't tip in that section. They don't give any money. I can never make I leave with $20 in that section every night. And I'm like, I'm gonna take the section. The section kept calling me, and that's the section that I took. And every night, I kid you not, I left with a minimum of $200 in tips. I got a regular who would come in and would only come and sit in my section, and he would always tip me $100. And the girls would be like, how? How are you getting, that much money? Because when I try to take the section, I can never get anywhere near that. What are you doing? What are you doing to those people? And I'm like, nothing. I'm setting my intention. Every day I come in, I'm not leaving without a minimum of X amount of money. And the clients or the customers who are in the section are going to be nice and kind to me. And that's what would happen. I would go in and they would see me and they would light up and they're like, oh my gosh, you're so kind, you're polite, and you're so pleasant, and da-da-da-da, and I'm just going to give you a tip. Or they'll go and they'll hit on another side of the casino and they'll come back and they'll be like, hey, I hit over there and I just wanted to give you a tip. And I'm grateful. I was very appreciative. And my co-workers could not understand what was the difference between when they worked that section and when I worked that section. And it was all about my perspective and it was all about my energy. And that has been literally my life for, I want to say, at least the last year or so. When I found out how to change my perspective on everything, even if the day does not go the way that I have imagined it to go in my mind, I never say, well, it was a bad day. No, it was an unexpected day. But it happened the way that it needed to happen, because there's no such thing as coincidences. There's no such things as accidents. Everything happens the way it needs to happen for a reason. And if I don't understand what that reason is, I do not label it bad. If it happened for a reason. And I may not necessarily know what that reason is at the moment, but in due time, it will be revealed to me. And so in this stage of my life, it's just about me following my intuition and walking in my purpose and following my passion. How this even whole YouTube thing came apart is like, I want to say at least the last 2 or 3 years, like something has been pulling at me to just talk and make videos on YouTube about my process and what I'm going through and trying to learn how to navigate this matrix and create the life that I deserve, the life that I desire. And for the longest time, I'm like, no, I had to get over a lot of my own negative, limited beliefs about being seen, because it was like, oh, well, people are going to see me. Or what if, my family or friends see some of my videos and they don't understand it, or it creates what's it called? Like an avalanche of negative things. And I had to start telling myself, like, first of all, you love you. You know your heart. You know what the purpose of the videos are, whether anyone else knows it or not. And because I know that the purpose of these videos is because I know other people will relate. My partner just came in. I know that other people will relate to these videos. I have no choice but to do these videos, because it's not for me to say that even if there's 1 or 2 people who resonates with the videos that I make, that makes a difference in the raising of the collective consciousness. And I had to learn how to genuinely learn to love myself, and in every stage of my growth, of my evolution, and just walk in it. Which is why you don't see like it's not a whole production, a setup. It's not like I have an intro or anything. It's just me talking, because it's me talking to the other versions of me, and hoping that through our conversations that you learn something, that you're enlightened just a little bit. Even if you just take one thing from these videos that I post and apply it, job well done for me. I'm not looking for accolades, or I'm not looking like, oh, I'm gonna post these videos and they're gonna go viral and I'm gonna make $1 million. Like that's not the purpose. The purpose is to open up a dialogue for other people who are in the same space of feeling like there's nothing that you can do, that you don't have control over your life, because you have all the control over your life. You have all the resources and the power that you need to create the life that you want to live. But we have to consciously uncondition ourselves from beliefs that have been poured into us over X amount of years. And let's do it together. Why not do it together? You know? Why not do it together? Like, I literally almost did not record this video because my lashes look crazy, okay? I've been trying to get them off, but I can't. I can't. And I was like, I'm not going to let that stop me from posting the video, because there's things that was on my heart to talk about, and they are things that someone else might need to hear. And so, Jesus, this video has went on for 45 minutes, and I intended to do a 20-minute video, and now it's 45 minutes. So, yeah. So I think I'm gonna get off of here, actually. I did want to answer one of the questions that I saw in one of the other videos in regards to meditation. Meditation. Meditation is not necessarily one way. It's not you sitting, real still, be quiet. I will recommend a few apps. There's a Balance app for people who are, I personally feel like Balance is for people who are just trying to get into meditation, who's never done meditation before. It kind of teaches you like posture and like the basics of meditation. I personally like using Gaia. They have a lot of guided meditations for specific things, like if you need to, you want to meditate before you go to sleep, you have trouble sleeping, or if you have anger or anxiety, or you want to align your chakras. There's different meditations for different things with different teachers. I personally like that. But recently I've really just been choosing frequencies. Frequencies for different things, because we are all energy and we are all constantly vibrating. And so depending on what I need it for, I'll choose like maybe healing frequency or chakra balance and frequencies, and I'll sit in silence. And if your mind starts to wonder, if you start thinking about, oh, what happened at work or what happened yesterday, that's fine. Don't try to fight it. The purpose of meditation is it's stillness and being alone with yourself. And a part of being alone with yourself is those thoughts that come up. I tend to just label them. Like if I'm meditating and I'm following the sounds of the frequencies, and thoughts about my business or my family or my children or my relationship come up, I don't force them away. I notice them and I label them thinking, and then I keep sitting there. And I do that for as long as need be. There's plenty of different ways to meditate. I would just say find which way works best for you, what calls to you, and go with that. I am not an expert on meditation. I will say the best times to meditate is first thing in the morning when you wake up, and right before you go to sleep. Because that's where you're at. Those are like your sweet spots for meditation. Those are when you're in, like right before you go to sleep is like that. That's the perfect time to set intentions and to manifest things, because it's right before you go to sleep. And we'll talk about that a little bit more. I don't want to get too much in detail about that, but yeah, I would say just research different ways. Because what resonates with me in forms of meditation may not resonate with you. And like I said, meditation isn't different. When you go into that sweet spot, like if you're playing basketball, you'll use basketball because I don't know. If you're playing basketball and it's just like you're in a sweet spot where it's like time just does not exist, that's a form of meditation. So meditation doesn't necessarily look like the monks sitting and they do their alms, still, silent. That is a form of meditation, but it's not the only form of meditation. So I will say just do a little bit of research and find what resonates with you and then try that. But like I said, Gaia and Balance are really good resources to find guided meditations. And yeah, so it has been lovely chatting with you today. And until next time, please, peace and blessings.